the scariest thing when you run out of toilet paper. I shudder to think about that. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to some more Monster, episode 48. I am back on my casting couch. It's brown. Yes, I know it's brown. I have thought about maybe getting a chair, but who cares, right? In any case, previously on Monster, episode 47, a couple of things I wrote down. There is more to the tape. The tape that everyone's talking about, we have more stuff on it. We didn't listen to the entirety of it. There were also other documents as well with the lockbox, so I was surprised that they didn't really... I mean, maybe they did. Maybe they're keeping the surprise for later. But I was kind of surprised that they didn't make copies, which I would have. We had Grimmer remember something from 511 Kinderheim when he was there. It was before Johan arrived there, but it seems like they still did a bunch of brainwashing and weird shit to children. It is what it is. But basically, apparently, they tried to, or rather they forced the children to forget about themselves, and so the children decided to remember each other. Grimmer remembered one of the other children that he was there with. We also learned of the Red Rose Mansion, a guy called Franz Bonaparte or something. And this guy was the author of the picture book, and he apparently was in charge of pretty much all the secret police. I don't know, he just had a lot of power, and even the guy that we've been talking to in the last episode had no idea why that guy had so much power. We also had Nina actually show up. Pretty much the exact same thing happened that I had said a few episodes ago, where Nina shows up and is like, how do these people know me? Nina went to her old house and remembered a bunch of things, and we were left off with some confusing... Nina having some confusion around her memories and stuff like that. I guess we'll see. Are
you okay, Nina? He was taken and dragged down these very steps.
Hang on.
They took him away. Who was?
There's some weird audio shit going on here. It's like the audio is coming from only one side.
My big brother.
Yes.
I'm not sure what's up with that, but whatever. I might be able to fix it in post. If not, then it is what it is.
He was called the Man of Red Rose Mansion, I believe.
What was his real name?
It was Franz Bonaparte.
I'm not gonna lie, she was kind of creepy as a child. No.
You're looking for Yansuk's mother? Well then, Mrs. Suk is right
this
down
is
the
Anna.
hall in room
This is Anna.
409.
Son of a bitch. Son of a
I'm sorry
bee.
to say the poor
Son of a beeswax.
dear's memory comes and goes in spurts. You'll have to be patient.
I said as much, right? I said this last episode. I wondered if Johan was good enough to figure out where Sugendi's nuts would send the tape. And I was right. Because of that, I'm hoping that they made copies.
Jan? Is that you, dear?
No.
Oh my, what a beautiful girl. Are you one of Jan's little friends?
That's right.
You've brought such pretty flowers.
I'll put them right here. How about that? I've heard a lot from Jan, ma'am.
I see. Where is he? Is it a school day?
Mm-mm.
Oh, of course. He's already finished with that. He's a detective.
Everything's fine. Your Jan is all right. There's nothing to worry about.
I like talking to you. You have a sweet face and very kind eyes.
You can tell me about anything you want. Whatever you can remember.
I suppose, I mean, the one thing I will say, something that I just kind of don't buy, is how Johan can just get into people's heads. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know if... I mean, I want to say that it's not done well enough, but at the same time, I can't even imagine if someone in real life would be able to do something like that. Maybe it's just that shit like this would never work on me, you know? Like, when I, and this might sound bad, but when I talk to someone, especially face to face, essentially when they're saying what I want to hear, I immediately suspect them. Like, if they say something that I would like, it'd be one thing if she's like, I don't know, making people laugh, being all friendly with them, and very obviously like becoming their friend and manipulating them that way. That would be, in my opinion, well done, right? But he doesn't really do anything. You know? He just kind of, I don't know, he just kind of listens to people's problems. He's just a good listener. And then he gives maybe some general good advice or something. And all of a sudden, he's like brainwashing them. You know, it's like, I feel like they haven't really properly shown how Johan is able to just, I don't know, hypnotize people in his own ways, right? I feel like it's just, I don't know, people falling for his brainwashing, quote unquote, seems too simple, seems too easy. Now, if you told me that he has some sort of supernatural power, like a Death Note, or like, you know, people just supernaturally fall in love with him or start doing whatever he wants, then I'd be like, okay, sure, right? That's not necessarily realistic, but at least if you set up that kind of supernatural power, I'd be like, okay, at least you set it up, and that makes sense. But considering he doesn't have any kind of supernatural power, I have to think realistically. And realistically, I'm looking at what he does, and I don't buy that he's like manipulating them to the point where everyone just wants to do whatever he says, basically.
It's been a while since I've had such a good time.
I'm glad to hear.
I must think of a way to thank you for your visit.
You don't need to do that. Actually, though, I was really hoping that you would show me that thing that Johan recently entrusted you with.
He entrusted me with something?
Yes, a cassette tape.
Of course, I remember. There it is.
Son of a bitch. The scariest thing, when you run out of toilet paper. I shudder to think about that.
Make sure you don't forget about our arrangement. Remember, we did make a deal. Come on, let's get going, Dr. Tenma.
I assume they're not going to run into Anna, or Johanna, rather.
No words can describe how I felt when you told me everything that you've been through. The last 10 years must have been horrible for you. But this cassette tape may be the key to unlocking the whole story, and you'll be able to prove your...
And it's gone, right? And it's gone. I'm really hoping that Grimmer was cautious enough to make a copy. I really hope that's the case. That would be a good twist. To where it's like, at first it's like, oh shit, the tape is gone? A blonde-haired woman came and took it? Shit. And then they play into the whole thing where it's like, oh shit, the tape has been taken, and so on and so forth, right? Maybe there comes some sort of confrontation with Nina and Johan and Tenma and Grimmer. And then Grimmer's like, haha, gotcha, bitch. I made a copy.
When that happens, your entire life will change for the better.
But Mr. Grimmer, what about your life?
Well, while it is true that I've been on a mission to investigate 511 Kinderheim and what it did to the children, the truth is, even if it all becomes clear, it won't lead to any big changes in my life.
True.
So you're friends of Mr. Suk and came to check up on his mother? At the moment, she seems to be doing quite well.
Good.
You know, I think the conversation she had with her other visitor today really helped to lift her spirits.
Uh-oh.
Other visitor?
What was their name?
I don't know. All I remember is she was a beautiful long-haired blonde.
Uh-oh.
tape.
You actually did come. I was told to expect you shortly, and here you are.
The tape, where is it?
Let me see. Right here. I want to know how Jan's doing.
At the moment, he's,
Take me to the hospital where I can see Jan. My Jan is in big trouble, isn't he?
Johan? Is that you? No. No, no, you will die. Anyway, I was thinking she is way too lucid, you know? I thought she was like completely out of her gourd. There's no way she would just like have the awareness all of a sudden, the normal awareness. What the fuck is going on? Johan in disguise? Question mark? Because why would the tape still be there? Obviously Johan came for the tape. Now, could have replaced the tape. Comes here, takes the tape, switches it out for a second one. But now, this mother is like too not fucked in the head. Johan in disguise? Maybe he killed her, put her body somewhere else, and disguised himself as the woman? I don't.
My mind is alert and has been very clear since that pretty girl's visit. Talking to her reawakened my memories. But it might only last through the day. Please let me see Jan.
Now that's some bull honky. Now that's some straight bull honky right there. There's no, like, that's kind of the thing what I was talking about, right? They make it seem as if Johan has some sort of supernatural power to, like, manipulate people's minds. I mean, if you told me, if the show told me straight up, Johan has a supernatural power to manipulate people's minds, I'd be like, okay, I accept that. It may be unrealistic, but I accept that. Just like I accept the existence of the Death Note in Death Note, right? It may not be realistic, but as long as the show says, hey, this is what it is, this is what exists, then I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Let's play off of that. But they don't. So it makes me think that Johan does not have a supernatural power. He's just manipulating them like a normal person, like a human. But there just is not a single way I can think of where having a simple conversation with someone like can fix whatever the mother here was going through, like mentally. And just for a day, like what? Huh? How does that work? I mean, maybe if there's like, I don't know, maybe some sort of like medicine that, you know, will clear up the haze in her mind for a day or two, and then he injected that into her. Maybe they don't like inject her with that medicine in the hospital because it might be damaging to her in the long run or something. That's why they don't do that. But Johan is like, hey, I'm gonna do it anyway, because I'm a bad guy. But my point is that if you're trying to tell me that just from having a single conversation with Johan, all of a sudden this woman's mind is all cleared up for a single day, like, huh? Come on, man, come on. That's some bull honky.
To the hospital where you can see your son.
That's great and all, but is the tape the correct one? Grimmer, did you listen to the tape?
Mr. Grimmer.
Turns out the secret police are willing to make a deal with us.
Mother, you're here.
Oh, Jan, why didn't you call me so I could have come sooner?
I'm really all right. It's nothing. Nothing at all.
You're making light of it to try to keep me from worrying, aren't you, dear? Just like you did the last time. Every day my mind slips a bit more. So many things are fading away. Lord, let me remember. My son is the best child a mother ever had.
Man, this again, you know, this might sound bad, but maybe I should stop. But and this is I'm genuinely interested in this, but I wonder what it's like to have, I mean, I don't know what you call it, disease, illness, like a mental deterioration, right? Where you start forgetting things, you start like your mind becomes like hazy and like hard to think. I wonder what it's like, because I am a very, very thought-heavy person. I am the type of person who thinks a lot, okay? Now, that isn't to say that I have thoughts running through my head all the time, but rather, I'm the type of person who analyzes myself the most. Like, for instance, whenever I am, like, drinking alcohol, for instance, I don't change in terms of, like, personality or anything, but whenever alcohol hits me, for instance, and I start getting dizzy or something like that, I immediately start analyzing myself. Like how I feel, the fact that my reaction time is delayed because of the alcohol. I might be super tired, maybe my arm or back hurts or something, and then I immediately I kind of just analyze how I feel, and I constantly keep thinking. And so I really wonder what it's like when your thoughts start getting like clouded. Like how does it feel? What's it like? And the reason I bring up alcohol and being drunk, that's kind of what happens, right? To a lot of people when they get drunk, where they get like looser, I guess, right? They don't think as much. But honestly, for me, it's kind of the other way around. I end up thinking more. And so I've never been in a situation where something inhibits my thoughts. Like I've never been on anesthesia or anything like that. I've never been on anything that prevents me from thinking clearly. And so I've just never experienced it. So I really wonder what it's like.
Let's go back to that other question again. What is it that you are the most afraid of?
The monster.
Okay, so he didn't take the tape. Unless this is a different tape that he replaced it with.
It's getting bigger.
And besides, they can just... I guess not.
Munch, munch. Chomp, chomp. Gobble, gobble. Gulp. Munch,
Gobble, gobble these nuts.
chomp, chomp. Gobble, gobble. Gulp.
That's enough. I don't want to hear anymore.
God fucking damn it, bro. That's exactly what Grimmer said. Let the tape play out. What do you mean you don't want to hear anymore? Shut the fuck up, bro. I want to hear more. What about me? Do I not get a say in this?
Regardless, you should listen to this. The nephew that you ended up sending to 511 Kinderheim went through the same experience as this boy who was drugged and then interrogated on tape. You should know what that experience entailed. You need to hear this. I only listened this far into it the other day. We need to hear more to get the full picture of what happened.
Thank you. Let's continue, yes.
What I'm most afraid of, it's forgetting Anna. The strange lessons we have every day are making my memories fade. Please, don't make me forget Anna. It's only Anna and me in this whole world. Just give me that, please. Please. Please.
That's all I can allow you to hear.
So I figured this was the case. I figured that he must have done something, right? And recording over the tape was something that I considered, but and again, I have not used a tape recorder in a very long time, but if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you can't record over a tape in a very, like, specific... Or maybe you can. Like, you can't record over a tape in a very specific area. if that makes sense. Like, if you want to record over a tape, you have to start recording from the beginning, unless I'm mistaken. In which case, never mind.
Understand. Who's this young man talking on the tape?
What did he do? Did he erase the rest of the old recording?
I finally figured it out.
He didn't erase it, he taped over what was already there.
After listening to this tape, I finally figured it out.
Did the person who visited Sook's mother before record this? Whose voice is it? Dr. Tenma, what do you think?
I know this voice. It's what Johan sounds like today.
Where I must go. I finally figured it out. Dr. Tenma.
Oh, addressing him directly, knowing that he's on the trail.
So, where's the inspector spending his vacation anyway?
He said something about Prague in the Czech Republic. But I wonder if he even knows how to relax.
Ah, Lunge. Still on the case. Always on the case.
What would you like to drink, sir?
A Coca-Cola.
Just coffee. Very well. Wait a minute, I'm forgetting that I'm on vacation. Make it a beer.
Are you still Japanese?
What kind of beer?
Are you still a domo I am Japanese man? Is he actually here for vacation?
While you're at it, find Detective Sook. Immediately!
On these nuts.
Yes, sir. Whoops, excuse me. There's someone here who would like to meet with you, Chief.
Hell, this certainly is a surprise, Inspector Lunge. We met each other at the Interpol conference. I remember we had a very interesting conversation, and I was extremely impressed with the lecture that you gave.
You must be very busy.
You said it. If you don't mind, I'd like to ask your advice. The case we're currently working on has grown into one big, tangled mess. It involves a connection between the Prague station and the former Czechoslovakian secret police. At the time, Inspector Zaman had been conducting a murder investigation. The victim had been running an unregistered orphanage. We found out afterwards both Zaman and the orphanage director had ties to the secret police.
I mean, I think at this point, the more that Lunge follows Tenma and Johan, I suppose, the more evidence that he uncovers, it would have to prove that Tenma's innocent. Or like prove Tenma's story, that Johan exists. Because I mean, at this point, Lunge has to believe that Johan exists. And if Johan exists, and you know, what Tenma said is true, then Tenma is not the killer. And eventually, hopefully, Lunge becomes an ally. Like I wanted from the very beginning.
Do you have any leads on the murderer?
A man named Grimmer, who discovered the orphanage director's body, has surfaced as the leading suspect, but the children saw someone else leaving the crime scene immediately after the incident happened.
Who's the other person?
A pretty blonde woman. As it turns out, those 3 dead officers were involved with the Czechoslovakian secret police as well.
Do you know who gave them the poison candies?
We suspect a young detective named Jan Sook, who reported directly to Zaman.
Do you have any proof?
No, I'm afraid we have nothing conclusive. But 2 detectives recently assigned to this division by a special investigative task force were found shot to death in Detective Sook's apartment.
Very interesting. So, where's Detective Sook now?
Right now, his whereabouts are unknown.
The circumstantial evidence all points directly to Sook. But
On these dots.
Let's just say that I know of a very similar case.
You know how to objectively amass data. I remember when listening to your lecture, I was impressed when you said you can perform a completely subjective investigation and at the same time that you somehow get into the head of the killer in question.
I'm on vacation. I need time off for myself.
Oh, please forgive me. I should be apologizing to you. So, are you enjoying our beautiful city?
Is he on vacation though? Why would he be coming to Prague? Exactly. I mean, no way, right? I mean, what are the odds, right? I mean,
Visiting secondhand bookshops.
Bookshops, you say? Looking for something in particular?
Ah, shoulda known, shoulda known. Of course, he doesn't know how to go on vacation. He's looking for the fucking, the book. The picture book.
But I finally came across one that had it. Actually, I came here today to ask if you could translate this check into German when you...
Leave it with me. I'll have one of my officers translate it by tomorrow.
Were there any other people he was particularly close to?
He was working on getting this girl to go out with him.
Yeah, but so far he'd only gotten her to give him her name. Hey, do you remember what it was?
Anna?
Yeah, that's right. Her name was Anna Liebert.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Blonde hair and she was drop dead gorgeous.
Son of a bitch. The disguise is gonna be the crux of the problem, isn't it? The perfect disguise is gonna be the biggest fucking hurdle in this whole investigation. Cause like, if you can disguise yourself perfectly as someone else, as long as you're just acting as them, until someone can uncover the fact that you are that there's someone disguising themselves perfectly as someone else, until Johan's ability to disguise himself as Anna is revealed, people will simply think that Nina is the one doing all that shit.
He thought things between them were going pretty well.
Anna Liebert. One of the twins that survived when the East German diplomat and his family were murdered 10 years ago.
Come to think of it, he had other pen names as well. It was something Bonaparte, Jakob Farobeck, and I think Klaus Pope.
Klaus Pope's box is right here.
Oh, you found something? That's a surprise.
May I open it?
Sure, go right ahead. I'm sure it's all just a mountain of old sketches anyway.
It's cool that they're all kind of investigating the same case, but all kind of from different angles. That must be the mother, yep.
And she gave birth to a girl.
Sketchbook by Franz Bonaparte. Sketching someone, a woman who is pregnant, and then sketching the twins as babies, and then sketching a girl, Nina, I guess. But the most important thing here is hello, which means I'm guessing this Franz, probably the baby father, yeah? Probably the father of the twins. Although she does not really look too happy about it. I would maybe imagine, maybe the woman, the mother, was just a very, very hot woman, right? Very beautiful. And this guy maybe used her influence to, get with her somehow. And she's not exactly happy about the situation. Probably didn't want to have children. That's why she's so, that's why she's frowning. And then she has the children. Children grow up slightly, I guess. And then for some reason, he takes away the mother as well as Johan for some reason.
They were twins. If you don't mind, could you do me one more favor and read the last paragraph of the book to me now?
Let me see. At last he had found a name, but there was no longer anyone around to call him by it. Such a shame, because Johan was such a wonderful name. My goodness, what a peculiar book.
Johan.
So, Inspector Lunge, how about having dinner with me sometime? I never thought to ask, but how long is your vacation?
You there.
Yes?
Cancel the beer and make that a coffee instead.
We're back on the
I
job.
think it's going to be a long vacation.
And Lunge is back on the case again. So yeah, I guess I'm assuming that this Franz, this Bonaparte guy, is probably the father. Why wouldn't he be, right? Like, just random guy sketching a pregnant woman? Huh? I mean, who would have access to the pregnant woman when she's frowning? Probably the husband. Question, though, is why is she frowning? I'm guessing I mean, it's probably like I said, she was not happy about her situation, clearly. We also have to remember that the mother is probably still alive. Don't know about the father, though. Could be dead, probably. Right. I guess, like I was saying, you know, the father then came, picked up the woman and Johan, right? And then what Nina was remembering last episode was that when she was left at the apartment and then someone came back and opened the door and she saw herself. Well, what does that mean? It could mean the mother, who kind of looks like Nina, not gonna lie, right? The mother or Johan in disguise. So it could be that Johan disguised himself, maybe killed the father, let the mother go, and then went back for Nina. I mean, right now I'm thinking, who came back for Nina when she was in the apartment? Was it the mother or was it Johan? I would say more likely Johan in disguise as Nina, because, you know, she saw herself, apparently, and then afterwards, the two of them crossed the border and they got picked up by the other guy. But what happened to the mother? We don't know. In any case, I hope you enjoyed episode 48 of Monster. We're almost up to 50 episodes already, Jesus. We're slowly approaching the end game. Slowly. We're still a ways off, but you can tell that the pieces of the puzzle are coming together slowly but surely. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time in episode 49 of Monster.